What Toto Wolff just said about Lewis Hamilton is sending shockwaves through Formula One. And no, this isn't just a sympathetic comment or polite praise. It's raw, emotional, and it might be the most powerful statement we've heard all season. Because after Lewis Hamilton's disastrous weekend in Hungary, a weekend where he qualified 12th, finished a lap down, and told the world, "I'm useless, they probably need to change driver," everything felt broken. For Ferrari, for F1, for the fans. And then he said it, hopefully, I'll be back. Just 6 words. But in those 6 words, the entire racing world hit pause. Was this a farewell? Was the Ferrari dream collapsing in real time? Or was this the beginning of something much bigger? Then came the cryptic social media post. A matchbox, smoky imagery, and the words, "We've struck the match. Now follow the smoke." Dated, August 8th. No context. No explanation, just speculation. Was Hamilton retiring, returning to Mercedes, launching a team of his own? And just when the chaos hit fever pitch, Toto Wolff broke his silence. The man who built a dynasty with Hamilton, the architect behind 6 of Lewis's world titles, the one person who truly understands the man behind the helmet. What he revealed wasn't just support, it was a warning to the F1 world, a message to Ferrari, a challenge to the critics, and maybe a glimpse at what's coming next. Hungary 2025 wasn't just a bad race for Lewis Hamilton, it was a psychological gut punch. For a driver who's conquered nearly every circuit on the calendar, being knocked out in Q2 felt like a different kind of defeat. And it only got worse from there. While Charles Leclerc pulled off a dazzling pole position, Hamilton was stuck in the midfield mess, trapped in a DRS train, and eventually crossed the finish line a lap down. No points, no podium, no glory. But the real damage didn't come from his on-track performance. It came from his own words. "I'm useless. They probably need to change driver." It wasn't sarcasm. It wasn't deflection. It was pain. And it was public. Fans were stunned. Commentators were speechless. Was this the beginning of the end? But then something unexpected happened. Not from Hamilton, but from the man who knows him better than almost anyone. When Toto Wolff finally addressed the situation, it wasn't to spin a narrative. It wasn't to sugarcoat the reality. It was to tell the truth. Wolff didn't deny that Hungary was a disaster. He didn't make excuses. But what he did do was remind the world of who Lewis Hamilton truly is. He called the emotional outburst human, honest, and deeply personal. He said Hamilton has always worn his heart on his sleeve, that when he feels he's failed, he doesn't hide behind a PR curtain. He shows it. He owns it. Because he holds himself to a higher standard than anyone else could ever place on him. And then, Toto delivered the line that silenced every doubter. Lewis is still the greatest of all time. One bad weekend doesn't change that. Lewis is still the greatest of all time. So let's change me with Lewis Hamilton waited. But Toto wasn't just reflecting on the past, he was pointing straight at the future. Toto Wolff didn't stop at defending Hamilton's legacy. He shifted the entire conversation toward what's next. The year the Formula One world hits the reset button. New engines, new aerodynamics, new opportunities. And Wolff made it clear. This is the environment where Hamilton thrives. He called it unfinished business. For Hamilton, change has always been an invitation to evolve. He dominated through regulation shifts in 2014. He adapted again in 2022. And if history is anything to go by, 2026 could be the stage for one last act of greatness. Toto didn't just want Hamilton to stick around, he expects him to. Because when the game changes, champions don't retire, they reload. But just as Toto was building a future vision, Hamilton himself was stirring a different kind of fire. The post came out of nowhere, a black and white photo of a matchbox. The caption, "We've struck the match, now follow the smoke." Dated, August 8th. No explanation, no interview, no clues. And just like that, the rumors exploded. Was Lewis about to announce his retirement? Was he leaving Ferrari already? Was he going to pull a shock return to Mercedes? Or maybe start a team of his own? Some fans thought it had nothing to do with racing at all. Maybe a fashion brand launch, a new Mission 44 initiative, a major philanthropic move. Hamilton was asked about it at Spa. His response? Just a smile. Sources close to him say retirement is unlikely. Whatever this announcement is, it's something external. But the timing, right after his lowest point of the season, is what really set tongues wagging. And in the middle of this media storm, came a voice nobody expected. Charles Leclerc didn't have to say anything. After all, he was the one who'd taken pole. He was the one carrying Ferrari's hopes on his back. But instead of staying silent, he stood up. He said the Hungarian weekend was a one-off, that Hamilton was going through a rough patch, yes, but that it wasn't permanent. He believed Hamilton would bounce back, and that together they still had what it takes to bring Ferrari to the top. Leclerc didn't just defend his teammate, he protected the team's unity. It was a rare glimpse into Ferrari's internal culture, a sign that maybe, just maybe, they weren't cracking under pressure. They were holding the line. Transition. But public support can only hold so much weight when the numbers keep piling up. Let's face the facts. Hamilton is 42 points behind Leclerc in the standings. He hasn't touched the podium all season, and the Ferrari car, as it stands, isn't playing to his strengths. The handling, the balance, the tire behavior, all wildly different from the Mercedes platform he dominated with for years. Ferrari are still adjusting around him, still trying to decode how to match his driving style, still figuring out how to maximize their most high-profile signing in decades. And now, they're also dealing with the perception that the whole thing might be unraveling. What was supposed to be a dream is dangerously close to becoming a PR nightmare. Transition. And that brings us to the real question. Has this move damaged Hamilton's legacy? For some fans and pundits, the answer is already yes. They say he should have retired on top, that the Ferrari chapter is just an extended goodbye, that this isn't how legends are supposed to go out. But Toto Wolff sees it differently. He sees this as the defining moment of Hamilton's career, not because he's winning, but because he's fighting when everything is going wrong. This is when real champions are made, not on the top step of the podium, but in the back of the paddock, after a brutal weekend, still showing up, still pushing forward, still believing. Hamilton's legacy isn't crumbling, it's being rewritten. Transition. And the final chapter? It might be closer than anyone thinks. Whatever Hamilton reveals on August 8th, whether it's a project, a plan, or something we haven't even considered, it won't define his future. His response will. Because this story isn't about a race weekend. It's not about one cryptic post or a bad qualifying session. It's about what a champion does when the whole world starts doubting him. And if Ferrari have the courage to stand behind him, if they can give him the tools, the trust, and the time, then this partnership isn't dead. It's just getting started. So count him out if you want, but don't be surprised when Lewis Hamilton comes back, surprised, and shocks the world all over again.